G'day, it's Phil here. Welcome back. Special one today. I just want to go through how I keep my collection. A lot of subscribers have asked me in the comments about what I do with the coins that I say are not in the book, but I'm going to keep them for my collection, where they go and how I store them. So I'm just going to quickly go through a little bit of a history of how I've stored my coins and also show you what I'm currently doing storing my coins. Now, you got to remember, I'm just a guy counting coins on the internet, so I'm not an expert by any means. I try and use expert advice, and I try to look after my coins so that they don't tone, so that they don't get too banged up, and that they are worth something in the long run. But again, I'm not an expert. You can collect however you want to collect, and you should collect however you want to collect. And so what I'm showing here now is how I do it. You don't have to do it this way. You don't have to do it anyway. But how I started was with these Scholastic book folders for the $1 and the 50-cent pieces. This one's from about 2016. It goes up to the changeover coin. This one, the 50-cent piece, only goes up to 2010, so it's quite old. And so those were completed first in my personal collection. And when I started noodling through coins and looking for coins, I started finding ways to keep them. Originally, I got little sewing boxes, little fishing tackle boxes, anything that I could really put my hands on that had compartments that would separate some coins. So that's how I really started out, and I've only got a few of those left like that, but this is how I have continued to go on. So even if you know a little bit about coins, and even if you don't, let me give you a little bit of a basic rundown. This is a coin in a flip, and it's called a 2x2 flip. Basically, the 2x2s come in boxes, and they're just one piece of cardboard with mylar plastic on the inside that you use to flip over and staple down. You can get some that have automatically adhesive glue on the inside so that when you push them down they stick. You've got some with some tabs at the top so that they're easy to handle, and you can get them in different sizes. You've got the 50-cent piece, you've got the $1, $2, there's another 50-cent piece, and then you can get bigger ones that are slightly bigger than 50-cent pieces, and they're good for larger silver coins and the old round 50-cent piece as well. If you've seen some of these are these are called coin capsules. So they're a plastic capsule that coins go into, and they are non-reactive, so they're not PVC plastic. They're plastic that won't react to the coins and hopefully make them tone. And you can get those. These are all my 100 years of Anzac coins. So you can get those for your coins. You can get them in multiple denominations. I've got a bag for $1 coins, and then I've also got a larger bag for $2 coins. $1 coins, $2 coins. These come from eBay. I buy them mostly from China. You can get them from coin shops. The same with these. These you can buy from coin shops as well. You can buy them online. And they're easy to use, relatively cheap. Relatively cheap, I say, because some of these plastic ones are not necessarily cheap. You can lash out and get something like this. I bought this to have a look at my collection in a certain fashion. I wanted it to be a certain way. This is a box with a holder in it. So it's currently got 1984 reasonable $1 coin. It has the white ring around it because these are like generic size capsules, and they usually just open up with a half moon clip, but they also come with these soft plastic inserts, and you can pop them out, and they have multiple rings so that you can find the ring that fits whatever coin you're trying to put in. Take out the ones that you need and then put the larger one inside these. And there's many kinds like that and many holders like this. This is a relatively cheap one, again from China. I didn't particularly like it, unfortunately, and I hear that sometimes these, even though they're not PVC, can make you tone your coins, So I haven't used that as yet. So that's the flips and the capsules, and they're the different kinds of way that you can store individual coins if you want. So then, having said that, the cheapest and really easiest way to keep coins for long-term storage is in flips. So flips can be then stored in any way that you like. You can have a box that holds flips one after the other, like an old style slideshow box with negatives, or you can get some of these, and you can get any sort of type of these. These are flip holders. Now I've got it in a 2-ring binder. I should have it in a 4-ring binder, and I would like to have it in a 4-ring binder or a 5-ring binder because it's much better support. These are just, again, mylar plastic that won't react with the coins, and they have holes or slots big enough for a flip. So if I get a coin that has been flipped, I put it into the slot, very much like in the books, but it fits nice and snugly. In the books, inside, and you can keep them like that. You can keep them in your collection, you can keep them in a binder, you can keep them locked away, you can put them in wherever you like. Again, what I've done here, this is my doing. I've labelled each one of these flips. I have here a flip that I got from somewhere else, as in I didn't do it myself, so it's got one of those little tabs on it, makes it easy to pull in and out. And if you've watched my videos previously, you would have seen that I got some Eternal Flames from Simbungi, and they're in flips as well. The reason that I label them is to give you an idea of what they are, because in this instance these are varieties. So I've got 2 large heads from 99, 2001, and a small head from 99. It gives me an idea of what they are. Some of the more known ones, you don't need to identify them, although it's always best to just write what they are, what year, and you can write it with a pencil. I personally use a Electroset Daimyo, one of these. You can get it from Woolies, Coles, $30. Not too expensive, but it can do the job. You can use transparent tape, or you can use white tape. Just something so you can label it. You can make the letters big, you can make them small. This is how I do it. This is not how you have to do it. This is what I do so that I know where my things are going into my collection. And once they're in there, then they can be stored. And they can be stored flat, or they can be stored standing up, especially with folders like this. And this is just the way that I do things. So this particular one is a $2. When you buy some of them, like these, the ones that I've bought, you get the plastic at the front, and then you also get a piece of paper at the back with year or country, year and value, and you can write on whatever you want. You don't have to use it, you can use it if you want. That's my $2 one. Here is a 50-cent one. I've got the flips in order, the way that I like them. Some of them are labelled, some of them aren't, because I know what they are. I've got doubles, I've got interesting ones. That's how they work. So there's flips, and I've shown you the capsules. I've got some of those. I've got a $1 one. I've got 3 books, 50 cents, $2 and $1, which is very similar to how I use my books for my noodling. So my books for my noodling, $2, $1, 50 cents. This is how I store what I've noodled for the internet. I've got a completed 50-cent book here. I've got my $1 ready to go for the next hunt, because I've only got one left on that $1 book, and that's how I hold it. Now I'll hold it like this probably for a significant amount of time, but these are not necessarily good ways to keep your collection long term. Taking them out of here, putting them into flips into a folder is a much better option in the long term. So then after I've got my folders and my books, certainly for the internet, the ones I keep for my collection, I started off using sewing kit, fishing rod, tackle, holders, finding whatever I could just to hold things. Got some 20s here, got some newer $2 coins there, got some older 2014 and nice $1 that are in capsules that I'm keeping in there. So that's how I started, but then the way I finished was to get larger and larger compartmented holders, and you'll see there in the back I've got the years. I just put them into different years so that I can see where they are. Starting at 2012, the $2 is quite easy because I only start in the 2012, and then there's quite a few years where there's only one or two, and I can either split them up or I can chuck them in together. I have some in capsules in here, some of the ones that I'm really keen to keep in good nick. The others, I mean, if they're already been in circulation, they aren't in bad nick, but they have been dinged around, and I'm not trying to sell them for investments. If they are, then they're going to go in a flip. But these are my collection, the $2 collection there. And then as 2020 came on, I had to get a bigger and more compartmentalized fishing tackle holder. These are only $7 to $9 from Kmart or Big W. Just fishing tackle boxes. These are all 2020s and 2021s. So that's what I've noodled out, and when I say that they go into my collection, that's where they go. $2. $50 pieces. I have 3 of these. This is the oldest one. This is the one that starts off with 1970. It goes to 2004 over here. I don't keep a great deal. I don't feel like I need to keep a great deal. You know, at the most you'd want, I would say, 10 to 15 really good condition coins. If they're just normal commemoratives, really good condition coins. If you can get them, you can't always get them. I do have Centenary of Federation here split up into states. Not that I have very many of them, but I have, this is it. Once I've got filled up my books, this is it. This is where they go. That's the older ones. And you've got newer ones from 2005 over here through to 2018, 19. These are all full because they're newish coins. And I've got some, I've got one Indigenous languages coin. Spoilers on that one, by the way. That's probably, haven't seen that one come out yet. I've got another book. I've got low mintage over here, 85, 93, 97, 2019, and so forth. I've got another box with more of the 1920s and 21s because I've got lots of those really new, shiny and clean, and I can keep those for ages. Hold on to them, and they can be worth something if and when the mintage changes. And then I've got my dollars. Same again, fishing tackle boxes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 4, 24 compartments. You can get ones with 32. Just depends on how much room you need, how much you think you're going to do. This starts at 1986. There's obviously more dollars. It runs through. There's the changeover slot. Got none of those. 100 years of Anzac into the AU and then the S. Low mintage coins. And then into my Great Australian Coin Hunts. They're both mixed up. Gatch 1 and Gatch 2 are mixed up because I didn't want to have a container with 26 compartments for 2 different years. So I've put them together. I've got 3 or 4 letters together. I don't have that many really. And then you come into my donation dollars. As I've said, I don't really keep more than 10 donation dollars. Everything else goes back into the charity. And here I've got a couple of not intended for circulation coins that I noodled prior to. I've got 1 Possum Magic, 1 Mr. Squiggle, and 1 Gold Coast 2018, and these were noodled prior to me ever starting a YouTube channel. So that's how I keep my extra coins, my 1s and 2s and 50-cent pieces. They go into boxes and then they stack, one on top of the other, and that's how I keep my noodling collection. The rest of my collection is just odds and sods. Apart from the noodling coins that I keep, I do collect other things, mostly mint sets and other not intended for circulation coins. So I've had to make do with whatever I can find to hold the kind of things that they are. Here I have a man tin, which is just a metal tin, and this holds the predominance of my annual sets, all uncirculated, going back from what I have, which is not really that many, going back through the years into the 70s, and it just holds whatever I have. I've got my Gold Coast and my Mr. Squiggle, my original sets for those. Just a tin to hold things in so that it doesn't get messed up over time. That's uncirculated sets. Got another little ex-daughter's makeup box that holds mostly my $2, the $2 coin in folders that I've got, and the loose ones and so forth. I make use of whatever I can to hold my collection in when I can get my hands on without breaking the bank. Another folder, suitcase, little suitcase. This is all my $1, and the way that the mint started off packaging $1 that were not intended for circulation is they threw you $1 in a little flip. That's how they started it off back in the 90s, and then they graduated to these foldable flips. Same again, uncirculated, not intended for circulation coins in little mylar little pouches. They moved on to better and better ones through the 90s into the 2000s. All that sort of stuff. Year after year they would issue 2007 Sydney Harbour Bridge, they would issue them in little mylar flips, different mint marks for different states. Then they started to put individual ones in quite sophisticated holders, similar to what we have today. But they moved on 2011, and now they're putting them into these plastic holders. They've been doing that a little bit for a while. Last year the Ginger Megs one was in the plastic case that they use now for the uncirculated coins. They didn't go back to that. The most recent one is the Country Women's Association $1 coin, which just came out like a couple of weeks ago in a capsule in a cardboard, very similar to last year's centenary of Rotary. And then when they used to do individual cards for individual states, they now do at the end of the year, they do a 4-coin set, privy marks or mint marks for each main: Adelaide, Darwin, Hobart, Perth, or Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane and Canberra. So I've got those in there in my original Great Aussie Coin Hunt #1 folder filled with $1 coins. That's how I keep those. And that's pretty much it. I have another metallic folder that I just keep random larger ones in. You do what you need to do. You keep them out of the weather, keep them out of the direct sunlight, keep them in the flips if you can, or in the original packaging that shouldn't necessarily tone them. Keep them safe, put them away. But that's how I keep my collection. My noodle coins go mostly into just compartmentalized containers so that they're easy to get to. They're labelled. More rare coins or more physically robust coins go into flips and into a folder for the long-term storage. The folders get put into a shelf or so. But I hope that helped with people who are looking to see how to put their collection. It doesn't really matter how you do it, as long as you're getting fun out of it, as long as you do it the way that you want to do it and don't get angry by doing it someone else's way. It's about having fun. It's about enjoyment of the hobby. So please, if you like what I did today, leave a thumbs up. Think about subscribing. Tell your friends. But I will be back definitely tomorrow for a noodle. So I'll see you then. Bye.